Congratulations on your new purchase, an Apple II computer. Clinton Computer is a full-service dealer, and we want to be certain that you're able to assemble your computer and start learning today. We're providing this videotape to aid you every step of the way. Please follow the video and pause when it's time to perform a step. If you need to, rewind and watch it again. First, we'll take an inventory of the parts and describe their functions. We'll pay close attention to the slots and ports on the back of your computer, and then assemble the hardware. Apple's made it easy for you to connect cables properly. The symbols on the connectors match up to the symbols on the ports and should always be facing up when connected. We'll also cover some tips on troubleshooting. This video training tape is divided into 3 sections. Section 1, getting started with the Apple IIc. Section 2, getting started with the Apple IIgs. And Section 3, information on software programs that are available for the Apple II computer family. If you have a IIc model, begin with Section 1 and then fast forward through Section 2 and take a look at Section 3, information on software programs. If you have a 2GS model, then fast forward the tape to Section 2 and begin there. It's as easy as that. So, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is collect your cash rebate from Apple. You should have received this rebate form from your sales representative when you purchased your Apple II. Before even opening your computer's box, cut out the barcode from the side of the box. Be sure to follow the instructions on the rebate form. Keep in mind that you must mail your rebate form by January 11th, 1988, and that Apple cannot process your rebate without the barcode. We also recommend that you keep the boxes that your computer and peripherals came in. They'll come in handy when you move. Let's assemble the Apple IIc. You're probably eager to get your computer up and running, so let's carefully open the boxes and take a quick inventory before setting up your Apple IIc. The box should contain your Apple IIc computer, the power cord, 2 books, and 5 discs. If you're missing anything, please contact your Clinton Computer sales representative. If everything's in order, please fill out the warranty card and mail it in. The warranty card is important because it registers you as an Apple owner, so you can be notified of important changes to Apple products. The warranty asks for the Apple IIc serial number. You'll find that on the bottom of the computer. Across the back of the computer, you'll notice there are connectors. Each connector, or port as they're called, has a symbol above it representing the proper device for each port. A note of warning: before you plug anything into the back of the Apple IIc, make sure the power switch is set to O for off. Now it's time to connect the power cord. It's the thick cord with the box in the middle. The box is a power transformer. It converts the 110 volts from the wall outlet to the 12 volts DC needed to power the computer. Press down on the lower half of the power switch and make sure the power switch is set to O for off. Plug the female end, that's the end without the prongs, of the power cord into the back of the Apple IIc. The word top should face upwards when plugged in correctly. Plug the other end of the power cord into a 3-hole grounded outlet. For added protection, we recommend the use of a surge protector to guard against power line disturbances. If you have more than 2 devices that need to be plugged into the wall, the addition of a power strip with a built-in surge protector is recommended. The handle on the Apple IIc makes it easy to carry, but it has 2 other important functions. It angles the computer into a comfortable position for typing, and it raises the computer up from the desk for proper ventilation. You're now ready to install the peripheral devices and set up your computer system. Let's hook up the monitor. This procedure is the same whether you have a monochrome monitor or a color composite monitor. With the power switches of both the computer and monitor turned off, plug one end of the video cable into the computer port with a picture of the TV above it, and the other end of the cable into the monitor. Plug the monitor power cord into the monitor and the other end of the power cord into a 3-hole grounded outlet. Once you've connected the monitor, set it on the monitor stand directly behind your computer. Let's attach the external disk drive. Check to make sure the Apple IIc power switch is off. Plug the disk drive cable into the computer port with the picture of a disk above it and tighten the retaining screws. Open the disk drive door. The door pushes in and up. When you finish connecting your disk drive, set it to the left of your Apple IIc or far enough away on the right so there's room to get disks in and out of the built-in disk drive. Do not set your disk drive on top of the computer. It'll block the air vents. Let's connect the Image Writer 2 printer. Make sure the power switches are off on the Apple IIc and the printer. Attach one end of the printer cable to the printer. Connect the other end of the printer cable to the Apple IIc at the port with a picture of a printer above it. Plug the printer power cord into a 3-hole grounded outlet, or better yet, your surge-protected power strip. Finish setting up your printer according to the instructions in the manual that came with it. If you purchased an Apple personal modem, let's hook it up now. Once again, make sure the power switch is off. Plug one end of the modem cable into the modem and the other end of the cable into the modem port on the back of the Apple IIc. That's the port with a picture of a phone receiver above it. Unplug the telephone cable from your telephone and plug it into the modem. Use the supplied phone cable to connect the modem to the telephone. Also, keep in mind, you can use a modem without having the telephone attached to the phone line. The mouse, joystick, and hand controls all work off the same port. Here's how to connect them. As always, make sure the power switch is off. Plug the cable for the mouse, joystick, or hand controls into the Apple IIc and tighten the retaining screws. As with other peripherals, these devices fit into the ports with their pictures above them. If you're using the mouse, clear plenty of space next to the computer so you'll have room to roll the mouse across your desktop. You're now ready to turn on your computer and move on to the interactive training guides. This is a tutorial combining the owner's manual and the disc labeled An Introduction that's provided with your computer. This hands-on guide will help you get comfortable with your Apple IIc. The guide will introduce you to the fundamentals of using the computer, demonstrate some of the things you can do with your computer, such as writing letters, balancing your budget, and introducing you to programming, the fine art of talking to the computer in its own language. As you explore this guide, you'll be prompted by 2 symbols. The first symbol means go to the disk for some hands-on experience. The second symbol means return to the book for a recap of what you learned on the disk and with some additional related information. Find the disc labeled An Introduction. Push in on the built-in disk drive door. Notice how it pops up. Insert the disc, An Introduction, and make sure the label is facing up and that the oval cutout on the disc enters the disk drive first. When the disc is all the way inside, push down on the door until it clicks shut. If you forget to shut the door, the disc won't run. Turn the power on to your Apple II monitor. The switch on the top of the computer should be up in the 80 column position. Reach around the left side of the computer and find the green switch in the lower left corner. Press up to turn the power on for the Apple IIc. When you turn on the power, 4 things should happen. You'll hear a beep. The green power light will light up. The red disk in use light will come on. And you'll hear a whirring sound coming from your disk drive. This is normal. If you don't hear any beep, or if the beep is too loud, adjust the volume control knob on the lower left side of the computer. If your screen looks like this, you're ready to begin the hands-on training. When the computer asks you to return to the training manual, you should be on page 10. If your screen doesn't look like this, make sure you have the right disk. Make sure the disk is right side up. Turn off the power and repeat the power-up procedure. If you don't see anything on the screen, try adjusting the monitor's contrast knob. If you get the message, check disk drive. Make sure the disk drive door is down. If it's not, push it down. Still having problems? It's possible the wrong disk is in the drive. Insert the disk labeled an introduction and repeat the power up procedure. If you see the message I/O error, slide the disk out of the drive and make sure the oval cutout is entering the drive first, and repeat the power up procedure. If these steps don't solve the problem, consult the troubleshooting appendix in the manual. If you can't find the answer there, contact your Clinton computer sales representative at the store where you purchased your computer. Your Apple brand hardware comes with a full 90-day warranty that covers parts and labor. We strongly recommend that you consider purchasing an Apple Care extended warranty contract to cover all routine servicing and repairs. Apple Care is an excellent insurance policy against costly, unexpected repair bills. Please contact your Clinton computer sales representative for details. This is the end of Section 1. Please fast forward the tape to Section 3, which features software for your Apple IIc. Let's assemble the Apple IIgs. You probably are eager to get your computer up and running. So let's carefully open the boxes and take a quick inventory before setting up your Apple IIgs. The box should contain your Apple IIgs computer, a power cord, the keyboard, a keyboard cable, the mouse, 4 books, and 2 discs. If you're missing anything, please contact your Clinton computer sales representative. If everything's in order, please fill out the warranty card and mail it in. The warranty card is important because it registers you as an Apple owner so you can be notified of important changes to Apple products. The warranty asks for the Apple IIgs serial number. You'll find it on the bottom of the computer. Across the back of the computer, you'll notice there are connectors. Each connector, or port as they're called, has a symbol indicating what you may plug in there. A note of warning: before you plug anything into the back of the Apple IIgs, make sure the power switch is set to O for off, and the power cord is plugged into the surge protector for grounding purposes. Now it's time to connect the power cord. Make sure the power switch on your computer is set to O for off. Plug the female end, that's the end without the prongs, of the power cord into the back of the Apple IIgs. Plug the other end of the power cord into a 3-hole grounded outlet. For added protection, we strongly recommend the use of a surge protector to guard against power line disturbances. If you have more than 2 devices that need to be plugged into the wall, the addition of a power strip with a built-in surge protector is recommended. Also, many power strips have an on-off switch, so you can turn all your devices on and off with one switch. Another note about turning the power off and on. Before connecting devices to your Apple IIgs, make sure the power switch on the back of your computer is set to O for off. If the power has been on, wait at least 30 seconds after turning off the power before connecting or disconnecting anything. It's also recommended you leave the power cord plugged in while installing peripheral devices. This keeps your computer system grounded. To connect the keyboard, plug one end of the cable into the left side of the keyboard. Plug the other end into the keyboard port on the back of the Apple IIgs. To connect the mouse, plug the mouse cable into the connector on the right side of the keyboard. If you're left-handed, you might prefer to plug the keyboard cable into the right side of the keyboard and plug the mouse cable into the left side. The 2 connectors are identical. There are several kinds of monitors you can use with your Apple IIgs. To connect your monitor, plug one end of the monitor cable into the monitor. Plug the other end of the monitor cable into the appropriate port. If you bought an Apple monochrome or color composite monitor, use the port with the picture of the blank TV screen below it. If you purchased an analog RGB color monitor, use the port with a picture of the TV screen with the circular symbols inside. Attach the monitor's power cord if needed, and plug the other end of the power cord into a grounded outlet. There are two kinds of disk drives that connect through the disk drive port: 3.5-inch drives and 5.25-inch drives. Here's how to connect the first drive. Make sure the power switch on your computer has been off for at least 30 seconds. Plug the drive cable into the port with a picture of the disk below it. Tighten the screws on both sides of the disk drive cable connector. To connect the second drive, with the power still off, plug the second disk drive cable into the port on the back of the first disk drive and tighten the connector screws. If you have additional disk drives, connect each new drive to the port on the back of the last drive in the daisy chain. You can daisy chain up to 4 drives to the computer's disk drive port by connecting them to each other. But only 2 can be 3.5-inch disk drives, and the 3.5-inch drives must be closest to the computer in the daisy chain. You can also attach a hard disk to the Apple IIgs. The hard disk comes with an interface card that you can connect to one of the slots inside the computer. Clinton Computer will install interface cards, memory boards, and memory chips at no additional cost. We do not recommend that customers open the Apple IIgs computer. To connect the printer, first make sure the power switches are off on the Apple IIgs and the printer. Attach one end of the printer cable to the printer and the other end of the printer cable to the Apple IIgs in the port with a picture of a sheet of paper. Plug the printer power cord into a 3-hole grounded outlet. Finish setting up your printer according to the instructions in the manual that came with it. These instructions are for serial printers, such as the Apple ImageWriter printers. You can also use a parallel printer, but you'll need a parallel interface card to connect it. Refer to Chapter 2 in the manual for more information. Also, if your serial printer has a different type of connector than the printer port, contact Clinton Computer to purchase an Apple IIgs peripheral adapter cable. If you purchased an Apple personal modem, let's hook it up now. Plug one end of the modem cable into the modem and the other end of the cable into the modem port on the back of the Apple IIgs. That's the port with a picture of a phone receiver below it. Unplug the telephone cable from your telephone and plug it into the modem. Use the supplied phone cable to connect the modem to the telephone. Also, keep in mind that you can use a modem without having the telephone attached to the phone line. For further information on how to use the modem, refer to the modem manual. The Apple IIgs is designed to work automatically with the Apple Personal Modem and many other popular modems. If you have trouble communicating, you may need to change the configuration of the modem port by using the control panel program explained in the owner's guide. Here's how to connect the joystick and hand controls. As always, make sure the power switch is off. Plug the cable for the joystick or hand controls into the Apple IIgs and tighten the retaining screws. As with the other peripherals, these devices fit into the ports with their pictures below them. A word of caution: don't use the game port to connect a mouse. If you have a mouse designed for the Apple IIe, you should connect it by using the mouse interface card. You can use the same type of stereo headphones with the Apple IIgs that you use for a portable radio. In order to use the Apple IIgs training disc, you need a monitor and at least one 3.5-inch disk drive connected to your Apple IIgs. If you did not purchase a 3.5-inch drive, the information is available from Chapters 2 and 3 in the owner's guide. Find the disc labeled Your Tour of the Apple IIgs. Put the disc into the startup drive. That's the first drive directly connected to the computer. Hold the disc by the label with the printed side up and insert into the slot into the disk drive. Turn on the monitor. Next, reach around to the left side of the computer to the power switch and turn on the computer. If everything is plugged in and turned on, In a few seconds, you should see the opening display for the training disc. Put the book aside now and enjoy the hands-on introduction to your Apple IIgs. Everything you need to know to use the disc will be explained right on the screen. If you don't see the opening display, go through the following checklist to see if you can identify the problem. But if the problem seems to involve a loose connection, turn off the power and wait at least 30 seconds before you reconnect the cables. Is the computer plugged into a power source? Is the monitor plugged into a power source? If your computer and monitor are plugged into a power strip, is the power strip turned on? Is the monitor plugged into the computer? Is the disk drive connected to the computer? Is the monitor power switch turned on? Is the computer power switch turned on? Did you put the training disc in the 3.5-inch drive connected directly to your computer? If you have a 5.25-inch drive, was it empty when you turned on the power? Are you using the right disc? Eject the disc by pushing the drive button and make sure it's labeled Your Tour of the Apple IIgs. Are the monitor's contrast and brightness adjusted correctly? If the image on your screen is rolling or out of alignment, hold down the Option and Control keys at the same time while you press Reset, the key marked with a triangle at the top of your keyboard. Then press 2. This restores the standard control panel settings. If you think there's a more serious problem with your computer, you can run a diagnostic test by pressing the Apple key and the Option key at the same time while you turn on the power, or by pressing Control, Apple, Option, and Reset keys all at the same time if the power is already on. After about 35 seconds, you should see the message, System Good. If you see System Bad, followed by a string of letters, contact your Clinton Computer sales representative. If you can't identify the problem yourself, get help from a more experienced Apple II user or contact Clinton Computer. When you're ready to stop using the training disc, choose Let's Stop from the Quit menu. Push the disk drive Eject button. Turn off the monitor's power switch and turn off the computer's power switch. When you finish with the training disc, turn to page 11 of the owner's guide to learn more about switching applications, the control panel program, and other useful information pertaining to your Apple IIgs. Your Apple brand hardware comes with a full 90-day warranty that covers parts and labor. We strongly recommend that you consider purchasing an Apple Care Extended Warranty contract to cover all routine service and repairs. Apple Care is an excellent insurance policy against costly, unexpected repair bills. Please contact your Clinton Computer sales representative for details. This is the end of Section 2, but continue watching because Section 3 features software for your Apple IIgs. There are over 10,000 software programs available for Apple II computers, and the number is growing every day. Clinton Computer carries a wide variety of programs, and we would like to preview several of them for you right now. There are 3 basic categories of software: programs that help you do work, programs that teach or tutor, and programs that entertain. Keep in mind that some programs will run on the entire Apple II family of computers, while others will run only on the IIgs. In the following demonstrations, we specify what equipment you'll need for a particular program. When you're shopping for programs, be sure to verify with your salesperson that your selection will run with the setup that you have. Programs that help you do work generally fall into 3 categories: word processing, things that you've been doing on a typewriter; databases, things that you've been doing with a file card system or an address book; and spreadsheets, things that you've been doing with a calculator. The most popular program for the Apple II is Apple Works, a combination of 3 programs from Apple that can do word processing, databases, and spreadsheets. With Apple IIcs word processor, you can write a letter, do a report, type your church's newsletter, or create a 15-page term paper. Apple IIcs comes with discs for both the 2C and 2GS in the same package. The Apple IIcs database module is an indispensable personal organizer for all kinds of information. Personal files, household inventories, your family's mailing list, deductible expenses for taxes. The Apple IIcs spreadsheet is ideal for anyone who works with numbers, whether for financial statements, grade books, or home budgets. In short, Apple IIcs is the all-in-one solution for maximum personal productivity on the Apple IIc and 2GS. Designed especially for educational, home, and small business use, Multiscribe by Styleware may be the word processor for your needs. It comes in versions for both the Apple IIc and 2GS. Multiscribe uses the mouse for pull-down menus that help you choose fonts, styles, and sizes. With Multiscribe, what you see on the screen is what you get when you print. Another word processing program is WordPerfect from WordPerfect Corporation. It comes in separate versions for the Apple IIc and Apple IIgs. This program comes with a spelling dictionary, so you can have your work electronically proofread for spelling errors. WordPerfect has time savings features like auto formatting, auto page numbering, and bold and underlined text. Software that can teach is often called educational software. From preschool to higher education, learning is an exciting adventure with the aid of your home computer. Reader Rabbit by the Learning Company teaches early reading skills to kindergarten through second grade. By playing 4 animated games, children learn letter and word recognition, memory skills, and vocabulary. A dancing rabbit rewards correct answers. Reader Rabbit is available for the 2C and a talking version for the 2GS. A premier science series is Science Toolkit by Broderbund Software. Geared for the 4th grader and up, the Master Module turns your Apple IIc into a microcomputer science laboratory. Your student will investigate temperature, speed, light, and many other phenomena. Module 1 expands into the physics of speed and motion, and Module 2 explores harmonic and wave motion. A separate version for the Apple IIgs is expected soon. A student's imagination can be transformed into beautiful pictures on the Apple IIgs with Paintworks Plus by Activision. The 4,096 available colors in the 2GS's memory come alive on the screen in this easy-to-use program that features full-screen graphics and frame-by-frame animation. Your Apple II can also be used as an entertainment center for folks of all ages. There are sports simulation games, action and adventure games, as well as software for drawing and painting. Hardball by Accolade is for the Apple IIgs. It's like the Saturday afternoon game of the week, only better because you get to play. It requires 512K of memory, 1 or 2 joysticks, and a 3.5-inch disk drive. Winter Games by Epix comes in separate versions for the Apple IIc or 2GS. You get a completely lifelike winter wonderland featuring 6 action-packed events: bobsled, ski jump, figure skating, freestyle skating, hot dog aerials, and the biathlon. You can compete against the computer or against your friends and family. The most realistic golf simulation game ever is Mean 18 by Accolade, with versions for both the Apple IIc and 2GS. You get all of the elements of play, including the mechanics of a perfect stroke. Once you've mastered Mean 18, you can build your own course with bunkers, water hazards, and tricky greens. Karateka by Broderbund Software runs on the Apple IIc, and you can control the action with either a joystick or keyboard. Returning home after years of study, you must use your knowledge of karate to seek revenge from the warlord who has brought despair and destruction to your village. You must outfight the warlord's warriors. You must be willing to accept death. This is the way of Karateka. Flight Simulator 2 is for the Apple IIc computer. Put yourself in the pilot seat of a Piper 181 Cherokee Archer and head for the skies. High-speed color 3D graphics provide a spectacular panoramic view, as you practice takeoffs, landings, and aerobatics. Flight Simulator 2 features include 80 airports, day, dusk, and night flying modes, and user-variable weather. Thexter is for the Apple IIgs. It's the ultimate in action adventure games perfected by the Japanese. Its colorful animation, detailed graphics, and hypnotic music will entice you to play again and again. Over 20 different aliens will do battle with you. Thexter requires a 3.5-inch disk drive and 512K of memory. The Bard's Tale by Electronic Arts is available in separate versions for the 2C and the 2GS. It requires 512K of memory and a blank disk. This program pushes the power of your computer to its limits. So it's fast, it's big, and there's plenty of power for three-dimensional scrolling, full-color mazes, amazing sound effects, and animated color monsters. There are more monsters, mazes, special logic puzzles, and magic items than you've ever seen in a game like this before. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego by Broderbund Software is for the 2C and 2GS. This exploration program is controlled by the keyboard or a joystick. You work as a crime buster for the Acme Detective Agency, stopping Carmen and her gang of criminals. There are a total of 10 possible suspects, 30 cities, and nearly 1,000 clues. A different game every time you play. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego combines skills of graphic adventures, trivia games, mysteries, and arcade animation. The Print Shop by Broderbund Software is available in versions for the Apple IIc and for the Apple IIgs. Turn your Apple II into a personal print shop. Now, with only a few keystrokes, you can write, design, and print like a pro. Make signs, banners, and flyers in minutes. Everything you print will be as individual as your own signature. Enjoy instant creativity at home, school, or the office. A printer is required along with one of the following: a joystick, keyboard, or koala pad. Get serious tools, easy-to-use pull-down menus, and sophisticated color capabilities with Top Draw by Styleware, the mouse-based drawing program for a 2GS with 512K of memory. Top Draw lets you create drawings based on shapes which can be moved, grouped together, separated, reshaped, resized, or filled with patterns or colors. It combines structured graphics with color drawing and printing features in a truly professional computer graphics development environment. Dazzle Draw by Broderbund Software is an invitation to be creative. Designed for the Apple IIc and 2GS, it uses a joystick, koala pad, mouse, or graphics tablet to let you create dazzling full-color masterpieces. Every tool, every command, every work area appears on your screen using simple windows and pull-down menus. Just point your cursor to the feature you want and put it into action. And with an ImageWriter 2 printer, you can save your work for posterity. Test Times in Tonetown is a totally radical game from Activision Entertainment Software and is available in separate versions for the Apple IIc and Apple IIgs computers. Gramps has disappeared from his home dimension. He's stuck in Tonetown, and it's up to you to figure a way to get him out. Along the way, you'll get lots of help from Ennio the Legend, and you'll get lots of clues from some ultra-tone friends. But the tough stuff is up to you. After you become accustomed to writing easily, organizing your life and your work, and getting your finances in order, you'll probably want to do even more. You might want to add memory or a hard disk drive to speed up your work and cut down on disk swapping, or a modem to check the stock exchange or make airline reservations. The beauty of an Apple computer is that it can grow too, just like you do. And your Clinton Computer sales representative is here to help you make the right selection based on your needs.